we have an interesting rumor that Grand Theft Auto 6 may be delayed to scrub out wokeness, of all things. Now, for those who don't know what wokeness is, or who are going to go, define wokeness. Wokeness came to be the colloquial term for cultural Marxists and all of its ideals, implementations, back when social justice warriors, that's what they called themselves at the time, it was a resurrection of the social justice concept from the 1900s, from social liberalism. They took the concept of wokeness, which was being popularized in the conspiracy community, to represent those who are aware of what's going on in the world, and they applied it to their adults. So if you were woke, if you believed in social justice, if you believed that we need to push equity and reshape society, and agreed with Marxism. So naturally, everyone started mocking them, calling all their ideologies woke, and they hated it, so they stopped using the term woke, but the term sucked, much to their chagrin. And that's wokeness, people. This rumor comes from WDWPro, who has a pretty good track record on the Valliant Renegade channel. I'll link it down in the description so you can check out the whole video yourself. It's a pretty good watch. I'm going to let him say what he has to say in his own words, and then I'm going to show you proof as to why this is actually pretty likely.
This is a spectacular fail. And again, the article, I've basically given you everything in this article here. They've already delayed major game releases like the next Rainbow Six, Division Resurgence. All of those are being pushed into next fiscal year.
I'm hearing Valliant. It's not limited to Ubisoft.
I don't think Ubisoft is going to make it that far.
Grand Theft Auto, I am hearing that
GTA,
GTA is freaking out right now. Game's been in development for rounded up to a decade. It's not quite there, but they might have to push the next GTA back another year or two to start wiping out some of the woke, because they're terrified now.
That's just it. The woke is what's killing this, and this is the point.
Okay, so why would Take-Two be hesitant about the game being woke? All right. There's a lot of factors to this. Let's get into it. First, the right, the center, and a smidge of the left are done with wokeness. They're actively not buying products, and that has become very apparent in the video game industry. On top of that, you have people like Robbie Starbuck, who has led a series of successful boycotts to the point where companies are terrified of the man. If they hear he's looking into them, they will drop their DEI and ESG policies immediately. There's been several companies, I believe Ford's done this when they heard in looking into it. Lowe's has, or Home Depot. He has had a great track record of getting companies to walk their stuff back. And if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out as full woke, open relationship, all that, that's going to be a good target. But you're probably thinking, Kevin, it's Grand Theft Auto. They can't possibly make that game fail. But they can. See, Grand Theft Auto 6 has taken over $2 billion to develop. Do you know how many copies they have to sell to break even on $2 billion? Me neither. But I know it's over 20 million. Maybe even over 30 million. As I said in a previous video, it's going to take quite a few years for them to potentially break even. And that gets even worse when you look at their revenue. So I covered this prior. They were projecting a net loss of $957 million to $910 million. They were just a smidge off, though. Just a tiny bit of smidge. No, not by much, man. It's hardly worth mentioning. I mean, all they lost was $3,736 million. It's a small difference. And then when you look up here, $3,744,200,000, which is up from $1,124,700,000 from last year. But hey, in 2022, they did turn a profit of $418. And then in, comprehensive, which I'm guessing means applying GAAP, they only made $369.3 million. Just a small, discrepancy. And they have no plans to fix that for next year, because next year they have games coming out, sure, but it's probably going to be closer to that than in that, but it sure ain't going to be that. So Take-Two is not in a position where they could risk being targeted. They can't risk having gamers go, nah, I'm not going to play this. This is too woke. Or, nah, you know what? I still play Grand Theft Auto 6, but I'm waiting until it's like $30. Like, that's a deep discount game now. They can't afford that. Literally cannot afford it, because Grand Theft Auto 6 has to generate enough revenue not only to break even on over $2 billion plus whatever multi-$100 million marketing budget they throw at it, but it also has to cover for these losses. And that's possible. Because, if Grand Theft Auto 6 pivots to neutrality, they could make that back. In my opinion, yeah, they probably will delay this game to scrub the wokeness. When it comes back, I don't think we're going to be seeing that open relationship nonsense. I don't think they're going to abolish the female playable character. But I do think they're going to get rid of that open relationship nonsense, the whole Bonnie and Clyde angle. I think that's going to go away. Because I'll be honest, if it doesn't, well, I mean, $30 is nice. If your game's actually that good. Because I'm not going to pay premium to be an open relationship. Sorry, no. No one likes open relationships. It was a stupid idea. You shouldn't have done it. So they need Grand Theft Auto 6 to sell over 200 million copies like Grand Theft Auto 5. They need to make gangbusters with the new online mode. And if a certain percentage of people boycott it, if they just go play something else, they're not going to make that money. And Take-Two needs that money now. So I say overall, they're probably going to delay it again to scrub it. Because keep in mind, we haven't heard anything from this game for 8 months now. 8 months. Normally, from what I heard, they are more talkative about their games after they announce it. But for 8 months, we really haven't heard nothing. We haven't heard anything from the announcer trailer. Why? Because the announcer trailer was mixed. You had people who are really gung-ho for Grand Theft Auto, and you had people who are like, nah, this is woke, this ain't it. I'm going to pass on that. And as I said, with $2 billion, you already couldn't afford to have people pass on. You can't afford for Grand Theft Auto 6 to do Red Dead Redemption 2 numbers. It has to do GTA 5 numbers. Grand Theft Auto 6 could be one of the first games to sell 20, maybe 30 million copies, maybe possibly 40 to 60, and then still fail to break even. Let that sink in. Now, do I think it will? Probably not. Like, if it manages to get to 60 million with the Grand Theft Auto Online, I think it'll probably break even. But it doesn't just have to break even. Now, they have other games in development hell, like the new Bioshock set in Antarctica, which we haven't heard nothing of. I do imagine that's also getting scrubbed and retooled. They have a new Mafia game set in Italy. Not really enthused by that. It doesn't really strike me as interesting. It could be really good, but I'm going to have to see more of it. And I think that's going to be the general sentiment, because the Mafia franchise has really, it has its dedicated followers, but it has never been a blockbuster franchise to the point where it's going to, fix $1 billion loss. And that's all there really is to say about this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.